All right. Hey guys, I asked Pastor Doug a while back if I could give kind of the church an update about what is happening with the youth of our church. And I presented this on a potluck here just a couple days ago. And, as summer goes, a lot of people were here and there and everywhere, but not at the potluck. So I thought it might be useful to give you a chance to hear this as well. So this is I always think it's good to kind of start with your story. And my story is this, that I grew up at Grace for my whole life. And in my early teens, I kind of wandered away from the church and was pretty disengaged. And then came back the summer of my freshman year and really returned to Christ and made a life with Him. And the thing that I think is really important here to keep in mind is that it wasn't just me, but my experience with church as a youth was filled with lots and lots of people, right? And bonus points if you can name every single person on this list. But these people have been significant when I was young and when I was in college, and now in the season of life I'm in. And so it takes a lot of people to really, I think, adequately kind of equip and disciple and train up and give service opportunities for young people. So I hope that your story maybe involves when you were younger, and how many of you were impacted, right, in this 12 to 18 range. I got to imagine a number of you, and even if that's not you, how important and who was shaping your life, really. So we all, God sends people our way, and I'm kind of stating the obvious fact that youth need people in their lives to draw them closer to Christ. And beyond that, how much time and resources and service have gone into helping you grow. And if you can think of the totality of that, you can really get a sense of the need for people, in particular young people in our church, to be served well. So beyond that, I just want to do a quick history for if you're new or old. So the youth group started with a guy named Mike Sayers. He's now the pastor at Scum of the Earth Church. And then this lady, Rosie Best, took over. And after that, the numbers started to grow in our church, and there was a kind of a larger team as Mike Tegmeyer took over. This was kind of my youth group days. After that, Mike Rumschlag took over and had a team, and Phil, and then Albert, and then when he moved away, Mike and Lisa kind of took up the torch, and now there's kind of a team that started in 2013-ish. And so I thought it was important to kind of mention the team aspect because early on and in some other times throughout the church's history, we've had more or less kind of youth leaders, and I think a team approach is really an important aspect to successfully kind of serving our youth. So beyond that, this is who we're talking about when we are saying youth leaders. So myself, so there's me and the guys playing paintball. My wife, Rachel, and Jess Sisler co-lead a Bible study with these girls, plus Carissa Grau. And then Faith Roy has been kind of a new addition, and she has a lot of substantial relationships with people because of her time at Youth Haven, and has really had some strong connections with the young people in our church. So beyond that, some people who I thought deserved a shout out and are really great examples of being involved with youth are Nate Holt. The other day when we did this potluck presentation, I learned that he had done Mr. Nate's class for 24 years. And so that is a large chunk of time. And so he has a class every Sunday with people who are sixth grade and beyond. And Andy Burkout, if you've been around at all, has some pretty substantial relationships with the young people in our church. Beyond that, other people who I thought really deserved to be recognized, and Rox and Mary do a really great job. They, in fact, do a lot of the groundwork that makes it easy for people like my wife and I and Jess and Faith to reach out to young people, is because they've built these relationships for a long time, and not only with young people but also with their families. And these people have really come to to see Grace as not just their church, but also their family. And so, what we mean when we say youth group is people who are grades 6 to 12. And our goal is to have regular contact with them. And we believe that these years are really critical for developing people whose faith is really important to them. And church-wide, now this is just the church in general, but the numbers are really astounding of people who are leaving the church after high school. And certainly we want to promote an environment where people have a lifelong relationship with Christ. So beyond that, our present ministry, this is kind of what we have going on a regular basis. And we have a small group of Bible studies. The girls meet weekly, and the guys generally meet bi-weekly during the school year. And this is for high school age students. Beyond that, we really are trying to build one-on-one relationships. We really feel like that is an important part of a discipleship model that we're really building into youth in a significant way. We do hold big youth events once a month, so we have some sort of service project or some sort of fun event, and that usually casts a wider net for the youth of our church. And beyond that, I thought it was important to raise the point that Youth Haven also has been an important resource to give our students abilities to have experiences, but also train and serve. And so they've been a great partner with us. And so quickly, I thought it would be good to quickly talk about the demographics that are happening in our church. And so with the help of Mary Brack and April Rumschlag and Roxanne Combs, I was able to get some numbers. And once again, these are just kind of projections, but this is our present. And so we have 67 youth. And so that's from here to here. And 14 of those are currently in junior high and 8 are in high school. That makes a total of 22, and we are currently doing very little to reach out to the junior high, but we're hoping to kind of expand that, and we're hoping that God sends someone to help out. And so this is what it looks like as far as the numbers. And so what I'm going to do is go year to year and kind of show you the shift that's happening. And we have a lot of younger people, and even here in these kind of middle grades, eventually those folks are going to be down here and into that kind of youth group age range. So we'll see in 2017, there are 13 junior hires and 9 high schoolers, so pretty much the same numbers. And beyond that, in 18, we have 14 junior high people and 8 high schoolers, and so the numbers are going to stay pretty static here for a little while. And keep in mind, I'm not kind of estimating how many new young lives we'll have in our church, but once again, this kind of bigger wave is coming, and this kind of middle wave is also getting closer and closer, as well as the number of graduates we have are going to continue to rise. In 2019, our youth group increases a substantial size to 27, and once again, the number of graduates is also kind of rising. And then by 2020, 4 years out, once again, assuming no one comes, no one goes, so this is just kind of a projection, but once again, our youth group will be coming close to 30 people, which is a number that really we need some help with. And so what we really hope to do in the future are these things. And so we want to build kind of bridge events, it's kind of the words we're using, but basically a blend between children's ministry and youth ministry, so that people have relationships and they feel comfortable. Beyond that, we want to start a small group for junior high guys and girls. We want to continue that one-to-one relationship model, and we would really love a discipleship model that each and every one of our kids in our church would be mentored and discipled by someone, and that's been a personal experience of mine, and it really shaped and impacted my experience and my faith walk. Beyond that, we would love to have a big youth group event, meaning everyone combined together once a week rather than once a month. We would love to reach out to other youth and combined possibly with other youth groups. We would love to promote intergenerational relationships. So young people shouldn't just hang out with each other. They should be hanging out with people who are moms and dads, and who are grandpas, and who are single, and who are married, and so that they get a broad experience of what it is to be a part of our church. Beyond that, we want to start to send missions trips and encourage summer discipleship schools, so kids have a longer experience. And this was something that was really formative for my experience. And beyond that, we would love to start or have some sort of college age or connect students with a college age ministry, so that once again they're continuing to be built into and discipled. So our needs are pretty basic, but we would love for you to pray for our youth of our church. Beyond that, we would love for you to pick one particular person to be faithful in praying for, and we would love for you to pray for people to be called to serve our youth. It's a really high need, especially as these numbers grow in the next couple of years. Beyond that, we would love to have people who are partners on our team, whether that's ministry partners, or people who are willing to serve in our youth, and partners for resources, and partners, most importantly, I would say, for discipleship. If we could get to that one-to-one, each kid has somebody who's investing in their lives. It's really important. And so obviously you don't have the ability to kind of dialogue with me, but if you have any questions, comments, or ideas about youth, these are some of the fun memories we have from earlier days. Please feel free to reach out to me, my wife, or Jess, or Faith, and kind of ask some questions. So thank you if you watched the whole part of this video, and hopefully it helped you kind of understand a little bit about where we've been and where we're heading.